You are now tuned in to 13signsastrology.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Didn't plan on doing this episode, however. Sometime I wake up in the morning and I feel like a woman that's about to give birth. And that's how it is when you're a messenger. You see, I'm a messenger. And when I wake up in the morning, sometimes the load is heavy because I research so much information. I'm taking in so much knowledge all day. This is why I'm able to do these videos over and over again, because I'm always researching. I'm always taking in knowledge and information. And on this particular episode, it might get a little bit challenging for some of you. However, I got to bring the message. That's my job. I got to bring the message. And I want to talk about the great white brotherhood and sisterhood. You see, I did an episode before on this particular topic, and I kind of came on the metaphysical side of things. However, as you guys know, I'm talking about sovereignty. I'm talking a lot more about law. I'm talking a lot more about a lot of the mundane things. And right now in this country, I've been looking around and just looking at the state of the nation. When I say the nation, I'm talking about the state of these Americas, which includes North America, South America, and Canada, and even going on over into Europe. And I'm looking at the fact that there is a big division. There's a big separation going on. There's a rift going on in this country, and it's basically based on a mentality. And if you really want to go to the root of where this rift came from and where this beef came from, you have to study his story or history or our story. That's the only way that you're going to be able to really understand, and understand how to first look at this rift and look at the situation from an angle and a perspective, and then come up with remedies and reasons and solutions and how to get out of this situation. The only way you're going to be able to do that is that you're going to have to understand how we got here. And we didn't get here with Obamacare. We didn't get here because there's a so-called black president in office. Yeah, Obamacare is basically the result of a separation, a rift that's been going on in this country. And it goes back to a lot of your views and so-called ideas of slavery. And I want to start off and I want to address people that so-called look like me and people that so-called have my skin tone. I want to start off with you guys, because it seems as though in this state in the world right now, people of melanin dominance are playing a role called the victim. And I'm going to do a whole video on victims, so I'm not going to touch too much on it. However, you guys are playing the role of a victim. And it seems like what's going on is that people that are of melanin dominance, or that may be of what I call olive skin complexion, because you're not black, you're not white. I'm going to address that in a second. So you're not black and you're not white. That's the thing you need to get out of as far as your skin tone. And it seems like people of melanin dominance are playing a victim role. And every time you turn on the television, you see two things going on. Or every time you read the media, you see two things going on when it comes to people, especially right now, of melanin dominance. You have this group of people that are always begging for something, always asking for something, always looking up to government for something. But then on the flip side and on the opposite end, the same group of people now want to claim and say that everything is theirs and the earth is theirs. And they want to say that people that are so-called white, or people that are so-called melanin deficient, if you want to call them that, are basically, they pillaged the land, they took everything from them. And basically, this land is theirs, and they feel like people are stealing from them and things of that nature. See, the only thing you're doing is that you're playing a role, and we all got to play roles in the matrix, and that's okay. That's okay. You can play that role. But at the end of the day, how is that movie going to end for you? See, the victim movie always ends the same. The victims end up dead. The victims end up losing. You see, You're either a victim or the victor. And I'll cover that in another situation, another segment. And the problem is that your whole concept of history, his story is warped. You guys, even you guys that call yourselves Moors, because I want to address that. You hear Ram Hotep talk a lot about saying he's a Moor. And what do I mean by that? If you really are a true Moor, and you're identifying and calling yourself that, it has nothing to do with your skin tone. It has nothing to do with your skin tone. You could be a true Moor and be melanin deficient. That's right. You could be a true Moor and be melanin dominant. Because I'm going to go into what is a Moor? See, a Moor is dealing with, when you research it, yeah, you'll look in the dictionary and people try to use that definition about these were black people that came out of Africa and they went into Europe and things of that nature. But that's not what a Moor is. Moor goes back to the term Moor, M-U-U-R. And the Moors were navigators. And they basically used ships. And they use these ships to travel and to do business on an international level. This is what Moors are. So when you study the concept of banking and the concept of economics and things of that nature, banking was created by a group of Moors. And it has nothing to do with the skin tone. See, that's where people get it twisted at. See, Moors are the inventors of the Great White Brotherhood. When you talk about the Great White Brotherhood, what is it? Noble Drew Ali, because that's who many of you got hip to the term Moor from. See, Noble Drew Ali was ahead of his time. Before I go into what I want to say about him, he was ahead of his time. And that's what a lot of people, you're not going to like this, a lot of these temple Moors and people that are involved in the temples and things of that nature, you're not going to like this. But if you notice, you study his history, you're going to notice that he went through a lot of different changes and phases. And you kind of notice that Noble Drew Ali kind of wrestled with racism a little bit before he got his message together. And this is why he was ahead of his time, because Noble Drew Ali was still caught up on the victim thing too for a minute before he got hip to some things. In the end, he didn't end like that. But it was taught that Noble Drew Ali was ahead of his time. When he went to go meet with President Woodrow Wilson, he taught him that you were ahead of your time. He was like, I'm going to go ahead and give you, and you know a lot, and you were able to trace yourself back. You were able to demonstrate who you are. And I'm going to go ahead and turn over the estate to you and give you your inheritance, help you to get your inheritance, because Woodrow Wilson was a part of the White Brotherhood. So in the White Brotherhood, they are responsible for keeping things, checks and balances regulated. And I'm going to go into that in a second. But he said that Noble Drew Ali, you're ahead of your time. Your people aren't going to listen to you because of the fact that he was a little bit early in his message, and what he was attempting to do was a little bit too early. And he taught a lot of separation and a lot of still trying to he wanted to instill a sense of pride into his people. So I understand he taught his people that you're Moors, this land belongs to you, and things of that nature. He wanted to uplift fallen humanity because he realized that these people were ignorant. However, from my meditations and dealing with Noble Drew Ali on the astral plane, he told me that if he was to come back, he would have did it a lot differently, because he realized that you can't save anyone until you first save yourself. You can't save anyone. And Noble Drew Ali couldn't fully salvage and save himself because of the fact that what he was trying to do and what he was trying to set up was not on time. It was too early. What he was trying to do, he was trying to declare a group of people, a nation within a nation at one point. Instead of teaching these people, eventually he started doing this, instead of teaching these people to be better citizens within the nation that they're already in. So Noble Drew Ali was kind of ahead of his time. So when you hear these people talking about their Moors and talking about Noble Drew Ali and quoting all of this stuff about race and things of that nature and making it look like, well, if you're Moor, you're basically black, and that means you're better. And then that birthed the Nation of Islam, and they kind of like really perpetuated that mentality more so than Noble Drew Ali. But at the end of the day, Noble Drew Ali taught that white is pure. This is in his lessons. He said white means pure, and pure means God, and God is the ruler of the land. So when you talk about the Great White Brotherhood, you're talking about those particular brothers and sisters that rule the land. So you could say that the earth is yours and you come from the earth, and we all come from the earth. So the earth is just as much of the Europeans as it is yours, or the so-called melanin deficient being as it is the melanin dominant being, because at the end of the day, everybody comes from this earth. As far as your body, your cot, your vessel, you come from this earth. But what makes you a Moor and what makes you initiate in the Great White Brotherhood is your ability to rule the earth. And that's what I want to talk about here. You see, the so-called white man, because you have to call him the white man, which really is, I'm a white man, if you really want to be clear with it. I don't consider myself black. And I'll talk about the black thing in a second, because yeah, you have the black side, but I'm not a black man. Because black, according to science, means death. Noble Drew Ali got it right when he put together his questionnaire. He said white is pure, pure is God, God is the ruler of the land. So when you talk about being a Moor is a banker. See, a Moor deals in the field of economics. See, a Moor is one who doesn't just till the land and deal in a system of, there's different types of economies. But a Moor deals with what's called the global economy. We've always had a global economy. And if you want to participate in this global economy, you have to participate in the system of banking. And I don't care if you're going to court or what you're doing. Every time you go out and make a transaction, when you get married, you're participating in banking. That's what they're not teaching people. So no matter what happens to you, your success or your failure is based upon your ability to be a good banker. So when you hear Ramhotep call himself a Moor, know that Ramhotep is not speaking from a race. I'm not coming from saying because I'm born this and I'm born black, I'm a Moor. When Ramhotep calls himself a Moor, he's speaking of being a part of the Great White Brotherhood. So you could be Chinese and still be a part of the Great White Brotherhood. You could be from Ghana, the Ashanti Empire, and still be a part of the Great White Brotherhood. Why? Because no matter what, if you want to have a cultivated nation that's civilized and pure, you have to participate in the global economy. And when you participate in the global economy, you're participating in banking. No matter what, no matter how you look at it. The reason why a lot of these third world nations are third world nations is because the heads of state or whoever's ruling them are not good bankers. And this is why a lot of people right now are in trouble. You got a lot of people, they owe taxes, they owe money, they stole money from people's estates and things of that nature. And they want to go now and turn around and say, well, I'm a Moor and I'm the inheritor of the land, and therefore all the Europeans, they owe us money or whatever, so we don't have to pay anything because they stole this land from us. The Europeans stole this land from us when you got it all backwards. You see, you're the debtor. You're the debtor. The reason why you're the debtor is because you're the victim. You're the piece of land, but the land has been cultivated. You see, God is the ruler of the land, and you haven't learned how to rule or regulate your earth and your land. Because if you did, you wouldn't be asking for privileges. So you people get mad at me and they say Ramhotep is nothing but a white man. He's nothing but a racist. He hates his own people. Some people call me Willie Lynch. And they say that I'm Willie Lynch and I hate my own people. But what you fail to realize is that it's not about black and white. It's about your ability to rule. Are you going to be a victim? Or are you going to be the victor? Are you going to go and ask for privileges from the housing authorities? Are you going to go ask for food stamps and handouts? Are you going to go ask for this, ask for that, and always accept the pay? Are you going to go ask for a job? Which, like my man, Rich Dad Poor Dad, I think it was, taught that means just over broke. I remember when I was working for Rhino Industries when I was younger, and they taught me, like, from a young age, like, when you get a job, I mean, you one paycheck away or a few days away from being broke. A job is going to always keep you just over broke. But yet you still got all of these people that they'll go out and talk all of this talk about being Moors and the earth is theirs and they inherited the earth and the land is theirs. You got white people that follow them too now. They got sympathizers. You got pale people or whatever you want to call them, or melanin deficient people too that's just as guilty, that's following up behind this black mentality. And I'm going to talk about what the black mentality is really about, because it goes even deeper than that. So you're nothing but a victim, man. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Like, you're asking for things, and it's like you go and contradict yourself because you go out here and you ask for a handout, right? And then you'll turn around and say, well, earth is mine, so I don't got to pay that back. You're a fucking victim. That's thievery. You're stealing. You're taking money from somebody and you expect not to like ever have to pay that back. What the hell is wrong with you? Instead of learning economics and sitting down and studying, and then you might lose some of the battles and you just got to pay the money back. You just got to pay these people back, or you got to get yourself out the hole. But instead of doing that, you'd rather just charge up a credit card, max it out, and then just say, oh, I don't got to pay that back. I'm just going to discharge that with a promissory note. I don't got to pay no taxes back. But yet still, I want to deal in the Europeans' way of banking because I'm a European. My ancestors go back to Scotland. So you could say I'm a European. Moors are European. So when you start getting all these terms, so you get mixed up with racism, and you try to introduce race and melanin and all of that into banking, and it has nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, banking is ruled by the scales of Libra. That's why I'm talking about this right now. And the scales of Libra have to be balanced. And this is why the Great White Brotherhood, what their job is, and what they came here to do is that they're here to balance the earth so that the earth will run stably as a global economy. Because if a global economy is running stable, you have an economy that's backed by gold, and we know all economies are not, but the goal of the Great White Brotherhood is to bring balance to the economies so that we can have an economy that's backed by gold so that we can progress into going into higher levels, going into the ET thing, going into outer space, and going on into basically setting up economies and making the final frontier, like they said in Star Trek, making the final voyage. But the thing that's holding us back right now is this group of victims out here and their sympathizers. And you just want to get like privileges, like you want to get civil rights money, and you expect people, the government, to give you things, and then you want to turn around and talk about the very same government and the very same flag that's giving you all the very same standard that's giving you everything. So you want to turn around here and call yourself black and things of that nature, and then and talk about how you were a slave and everything was stolen from you, were brought over here in slave ships. See, the Moors, the black Moors, that's what I call them. They say one thing. They say, well, this earth was ours. We were already over here. But what happened was that these Europeans came over here and took everything from us. So therefore, we don't got to pay anything back or whatever. That's bullshit. And then you got another group of people that consider themselves slaves, and they say they were brought over here in slave ships, and basically they don't know their land, they don't know their language and things of that nature. This flag isn't theirs, this whole country is against them. But then you want to still stand in the same country, you still want to go to Walmart, you still want to go to McDonald's, you still want to do all of the stuff that other people are doing in this country, but you're the victim though. But then you want to participate is what I'm saying. See, there's no victims, like my man, like one of my homeboys said, there's no victims, there's only participants. You want to participate in this global economy, but then when it comes time to do your end of the bargain, scales of Libra again. See, this is the global economy on one scale, and then this is you. So when it's time for you to put some energy back into, I can't do that because I'm a slave, or I was part of slavery, and I don't have to pay this money back and things of that nature. So you got it all wrong. See, I'm not here to beat up on anybody. I'm not here to boast and to sound arrogant. That's not what Ram Hotep is here to do. But I am here to set the record straight. I have a duty to do that because a lot of your teachers and these people that you're listening to and you're getting this information from, they had it all wrong. They were ahead of their time. They taught a lot of truth, but they were ahead of their time. And I'm here to teach the signs of the times of the current events. As an astrologer, we focus on current events and what's going on right now. We live in the now, not in the past. Your mind is in the past. And I said I was going to address black. So what is the Black Brotherhood? The Black Brotherhood is turned into a group of killers. The Black Brotherhood is turned into a group of thieves. The Black Brotherhood is turned into what they think they're gangsters. Gangs that go around extorting and taking from people. See, the Black Brotherhood is the group of people that try to take from me and my family estate. You know what I'm saying? You can say, well, Ram Hotep's an Uncle Tom. That's right. My uncle's name was Tom. That's right. You can call me an Uncle Tom all day because my uncle's literally, his name was Thomas. And I'm not going to go too much into that. See, you guys don't understand anything. You guys haven't studied the treaties and where the Europeans, when we first came over here, and there were certain treaties set up with the land, and there were certain monies that those particular people that came over here were paid back to the Europeans over in Europe and over in Ireland and Scotland, things of that nature, so that we could rule over here in this land. God is the ruler of the land, and you have to pay the queens and the kings and the banks. You got to do it. And a Moor is a navigator. But a black man, you know what I'm saying? All that is right now today, and I'm keeping it real, is nothing but one who's a victim and that basically wants to be a gangster and some type of murderer and think you're going to go around and do things, and that karma's you're not going to ever have to pay because God, whatever God you believe in entitled you to do these things. You call it a jihad or whatever you want to call it. And God entitled you to do these things. And God entitled for you to just go take from people. You don't have to give nothing back. You need to start teaching your people better. You need to start, these people out here that are calling themselves blacks and all of that, you need to start teaching your people to learn more. You need to study true history. What was slavery really all about? That's what you need to ask yourself. I'm not just running off at the mouth. I could back up anything. I say I'll debate anybody out there. What was slavery all about? Slavery was really had nothing to do with just Europeans bringing blacks over here to America. Or when I say Europeans, we're talking about melanin deficient beings bringing black people over here on slave ships with whips and shit like that. That's the first thing that people need to realize. It was people that looked just like you that had ships. When slavery wasn't as big as you think it was either. That's another thing. Slavery was very much a part of banking, and it was people that looked just like you that was bringing people over here on whips and ships. And a lot of times they didn't even have to bring them by force because they wanted to go. They wanted to go to the new land. And when they got over here, they were made slaves. They weren't really forced to do a lot of things like you think they were. A lot of people wanted to live off of someone else and basically be a worker. That's why you have more workers than you do entrepreneurs to this day. That's right. You got more employees, which means slave. Really, it's just a sophisticated term for slave than you do employers. You have more debtors than you do creditors. The reason why, you want to know why? It's because people like being taken care of. You like knowing that somebody is going to look out for you and give you a job and pay you some money. And it's nothing wrong. If that's what you want to be, it's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes time for your end of the bargain, you got to pay your taxes or you got to do something. Don't go out here and try to steal from somebody else and take out of their pot so you can pay your end and then try to claim the whole slavery thing then. Because that's all you're doing is you're claiming it then when it's convenient. And I'm here, because you see me, I'm very dark melanated brother. You know what I'm saying? I know my history good. I'll debate any of these people out here. You know what I'm saying? You talk about African history. What is that? From what I know, Africa was a melanin deficient man. From what I know, and you calling yourself that. See what I'm saying? Like, well, who was that? You know what I'm saying? But you putting these terms on yourself and things of that nature, and it's cool, but you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. That's all I'm saying. Like, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. So my thing is that we have to stop coming out of the whole victimhood and join the great white brotherhood and sisterhood and participate in learning law. Teach your children UCCs and teach your children what's the difference between a creditor and a debtor. Where does food stamp money really come from? See, people get on food stamp, you don't even know where that money comes from. If you don't want to participate in this thing, I'm going to say this and then I'll shut it down. I'm not here to badger anybody or to whoop on anybody, but I got to bring it in this spirit because that's the only way you're going to listen. And this is not a video for people to hit like and whatever you want to do, that's fine. Like, you want to hit dislike and talk negative in the comments and say I'm a sellout or whatever. You don't know me like that anyway. I'll debate any of you guys. I live this. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to learn all of this because of people that were trying to pillage and take from my family. And these black people look just like me. And it was the great white brotherhood that taught me and opened my eyes and initiated me into a higher realm and higher aspect. And some of these people in the great white brotherhood look like me. Some of them are melanin deficient. I don't make any differences. I just look at humans. They're just human beings in general. But the thing is that you're going to have to get out of this mentality. If you want things to work for you, it's two things that you can do. Because there is a way out. You don't have to participate in banking. That's fine. There's two things that you can do. You can create a self-sustaining economy. This is for people that want to just basically, they don't want to participate in banking. They feel like the whole thing is slavery. They feel like, they done read Confessions of an Economic Hitman and all of these different books. And they're just like, man, you know what? I don't even like this thing. I don't want to be a part of this thing. Fine. There's a solution for you. You know what that solution is? You're going to have to learn farming. You're going to have to learn how to create things with your hands. Because the only thing you control is what you create. That's right. The only thing in this world that you control is what you create. So you gotta have to learn how to do that and grow things and work the earth and come up with a way to provide food, clothing, and shelter for yourselves without using a dollar. And there's alternative currencies out there. I won't talk about them here. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to use fiat notes, you need to find another way of some other monies to use. And you need to really do it though. So you hear these people talking about they sovereign and all these different videos and stuff on YouTube. You guys getting all into these people or whatever, but what the fuck are they really doing? Are they really sovereign? Like, are they really? Like, I'm talking about, like, they're saying they're sovereign. They're totally independent of the so-called white man and the white economy. Because they're right. The economy, that's what I'm here to tell you, is that the economy is ruled by white men. You see, I'm a white man because I've learned from other great white people, a part of the great white brotherhood, and I take responsibility. A true white man balances the situation no matter what. You don't make any differences or differentiate. This is not about racism or Willie Lynch. So you hear these people and they say, oh, I want to get away from the white man and just live off the earth or whatever. But then they're not even living off the earth. These same people got bank accounts set up. using money, buying prostitutes, shipping them over to their country, wherever they at, having sex with them in brothels and all kind of shit. And then at the end of the day, you talking about you want to live, or you want to get away from the white economy, and you want to get away from the global economy because it's not doing nothing but pillaging. The New World Order is what you call it, and the Illuminati and all this stuff, and they're doing nothing but just taking from people and pillaging from people. But then you're not doing that. You're not like the Quakers. See, I'll give it to the Quakers. They have an independent, from what I know, the ones in Ohio, up in Ohio, shout out to the Quakers, they have an independent economy. Independent economy that's not dependent on the global economy. There's economies out there like that, but who's really living that life? Most of the people that's living that life ain't gonna be on YouTube. Why are you even on YouTube? Why are you on Facebook? That's a part of the white man's economy, right? So you need to go back to the land, create your own clothes, grow your own food, build your own houses, and go from there. If you're really saying that you're an inheritor of the land, you need to get rid of the roads there on your land. That's right, because the very highways that you guys drive on, because you say, oh, I'm a sovereign, I don't got people, I don't got to have no driver's license and all that, and I'm just going to drive around in a car, and I don't have to pay no taxes, because basically I'm just traveling. But you're traveling on roads that were built and paid for by white people. You know what I'm saying? And that sacrificed their blood, sweat, and tears to build these highways and byways so that the global economy can run more effectively. But yet and still, you don't want to do that. Like you don't want to participate in that as far as get rid of driving around on roads and start off in a dirt road somewhere. That's right. Get your own shoes, get rid of everything. If you really truly want to get out of this economy, you don't want to be responsible for anything, you need to not participate, because there's no victims, only participants. Now, if you do want to participate in this economy and you're like, nah, that's probably not the solution for me. I got children. I do want to send them to college and teach them to be engineers and architects, and I want them to progress. See, the global economy and the great white brotherhood, we're all about progress. See, we were taught this by a group of extraterrestrial beings. That's what you fail to realize. The whole concept of economics didn't just come out of some black man's head or some white man's head. This came from another planet down. And the reason why this is the only solution, we have to create a global economy in order for this earth to progress, because for one thing, the global economy helps people to live longer. This is why people are living longer, because we have a global economy. When people were working the earth or working the land, they didn't really live as long, because it takes hard work walking around and doing things. Like, I live as a sovereign. I don't have a vehicle. It takes more effort to walk to a place than it does to drive to a place. You know that. And I know you get the exercise and things like that, but your body will eventually wear itself down. You know what I'm saying? So the economy, the global economy, is why you're able to get certain herbs. Even if you talk about herbs and stuff like that, this is why you're able to get certain herbs from Japan or Jamaica, and you live in Canada. You're able to import these, and this is because of the global economy. The post office, and those people, those white men that you hate so much, that sacrifice their blood, sweat, and tears to create this global economy and to keep it going. But then yet still, you don't want to pay into it, or you don't want to buy into it. But back to my point. So if you want to basically get out of this yoke, if you want to get out of this thing, you have to teach your children the laws. You're going to have to teach them about UCCs. You're going to have to teach them where food stamp money really comes from. You're going to have to teach them what the social security number really is. You have to teach them what the name really is. What is your name? A name is gooder than gold, as they say in the Bible. A good name is better than gold. What is your name? You're going to have to teach them their ancestry if you want them to get out of this mentality, because if you're melanin dominant or not, you got ancestors that are pale. And if you're pale, you got ancestors that are melanin dominant. So you need to kill the racism thing. That's what's hurting the global economy as well. See, it's slavery is what I'm getting at. The concept of slavery is really what is wrong with this country right now, why there's such a great division and a great divide. It's because slavery has still never really been addressed. Even back when they let the slaves go, they just invented a new form of slavery. They was like, see, they're the people that run this world, the economists, the bankers, the banksters, whatever you want to call them. They're very intelligent, and they rule this world by force. So as I make this video, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do. They're going to continue to rule. I guarantee you that. They're going to continue to rule this planet. It's going to happen from now and forever. Because you know why? They use force to rule this planet. They use the plane of force and manipulation to rule this planet. So they freed you from slavery and let you think you was free because they needed to solve the problem. They had to do something. So they tricked you. You might call it trick knowledge or whatever. They tricked you. So they made you think you were free, freed you from slavery, and put you into a new form of slavery. They just reinvented it. They had to revamp it. It's just like them saying, well, the Model T car didn't really work so well. So let's come up with it. We're going to still keep the car. Let's come up with the Ford Escort or the Ford Taurus because it's more efficient. It's more economical. We can make it out of plastic. We can sell more of them, make more profit. You know what I'm saying? So they just created a new economy. We were trying to run the economy on gold at one point. Couldn't really run the economy off of gold because of the whole victim mentality. So they gave you fiat notes. They gave you monopoly money. And they got all the gold banked up somewhere. And they're still running off of, I mean, gold is still very much valuable, but you don't even understand how to buy gold or invest into it. You don't know anything about gold. All you know is about jewelry and how to wear that and gold blings, but at the end of the day, you don't really know the true value of gold. How many people know how much an ounce of gold is right now? How many people follow that? How many people know how to invest into gold right now? How many people knew that there's multiple ways to invest in gold? How many people know what the stock market is right now? How many people know what the American Stock Exchange is? How many people know what the New York Stock Exchange is? How many people know what the Mercantile Exchange is? See, there's things that you don't know. There's things that you don't know, and instead of learning and researching and teaching your children, just saying, I don't know, man, and just saying it and learning and humiliating, humbling yourself. No, you want to go out here and say, I'm a black man, and just talk about slavery as a defense mechanism. You sound like a baby. That's what these people are that are doing this. You guys are babies. So I had to get this off my chest. Hope it wasn't too rough. But you know, Ram Hotep style, always controversial anyway. So I thank you guys for listening. I thank you guys for watching. And I'll come back with another part again in the future on sovereignty, the Great White Brotherhood, unlimited progress, deeper education on metaphysics and spirituality, broadening your thinking globally instead of domestically, thinking about other people instead of just yourself. This is what the Great White Brotherhood is about. It's about being responsible. God is the ruler of the land because he's responsible for those people that aren't so intelligent. And he basically clothes those people that can't clothe themselves. You see, that's what God is really all about. It's about being responsible for groups of people that might not be so intelligent. The children, the minors. See, just because you're 21 years old doesn't mean you're a major. You're still a minor. And it takes a God, and right now that's the white man, whatever you want to call him. He's the one that puts clothes on you and feeds you until you are able to be smart enough to take care of yourself. And there's initiations in this. If you want to go up and become a God, you got to go through something. You got to go through tests. You might even have to go through the Black Brotherhood. They serve a purpose. The gangsters, they gonna try to steal from you. So I'm not knocking the Black Brotherhood. They got to do what they got to do. They're going to try to steal from you once they know, you got something going or whatever. You got some knowledge and wisdom in your head. You got those people that's going to try to take from you, the takers. So like I was reading on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends was saying that the givers need to start giving less because the takers are going to take more. So you got the takers, the Dark Lords. I just did a video on that. They're guarding the way to heaven. They're blocking your heaven from you. So you got to study. You got to know more. You got to get into the craft, get into the occult. It's religion that has people victims. That's what it really is. It's religion. So you got to know more and do better. And it's all about unlimited progress. And until we meet again, I'll leave you in peace.